Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's video. We're going to have a look at the 10 to 14 days for today's video. Day 10 will take us to the 22nd of April, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with CFS and ECM ensembles. Right, on track a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFS V2 for May at the end of the video, and I shall get on that for you in a moment. Just say that first. The video details are 6 UK weather forecast, and also released January Friday. Check out those two bits if you'd like to do that. Like, share, and subscribe on all today's bits of content, and thank you so much everybody for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. So having a lovely Friday. It's very nice here this afternoon. It's a bit hazy, a bit cloudy, but it's bright and it's warm. Mainly, the main thing is that it's dry at the towers. We're drying up in the towers after all these years. No, but I'm going to be potting about in the garden, I think, this afternoon again. So it's nice to get out, not be rained on. But we'll see how long it's going to last anyway. But let's have a look at central temperature, though, start off. So let's get on your 10 to 14 days. So sorry, off on a tangent. Right, so CET is currently sitting at 11.2, about 3.3 degrees above 61 to 1990 average. That's provisional to yesterday, to the 11th of April. So very significantly warmer than average first 11 days to April. And that's going to carry on rising through the next day or two as well. As I say, we have got some pretty warm air with us at the moment. These are GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. Looking at London today, so the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London, starting off very substantially above average at the moment. We are going to see those upper air temperatures coming down quite significantly, actually, quite dramatically, when we get into the beginning of next week, or sort of later in the weekend into start of next week, actually getting quite cold into next week, and generally it looks like we're staying around or below average then for the rest of April, really. This gets us to the 28th of April, almost towards month's end, and generally below average with the upper air temperatures for much of the period there. So quite a change, because we've had a long run of milder or warmer than average conditions been going on with those warmer than average conditions for several months, really. So, yes, that is quite a substantial change. Looks like a sustained run of average to below average temperature. Now, let's not get too over the top with that, because the sun is very strong. So by day, it is still going to be reasonably mild or warm, but by night it could be quite cold. I think nights are potentially shaping up to be a little bit on the chilly side, where skies are clear, maybe with some troublesome late season ground frost. Also drier as well, that's the other big talking point. Lots of dry weather to come over the next few days, away from the northwest anyway. Perhaps a bit showery, probably beginning of next week. But overall, this is a much drier, significantly drier ensemble graph than we've seen for several weeks as well. So it looks like we're going into a drier but also cooler phase for the second half of April. Temperature anomaly from the 12th to 20th of April, about average, not a particularly big deviation either way. And precipitation anomalies from the 12th to 20th of April, wetter than average in the far northwest, drier than average for Ireland, England, and also Wales too. The latest wind map from earthnorthschool.net shows that we're drawing up wind from the southwest today, and so that is the reason that the weather is relatively mild or even warm, with temperatures pushing up into the upper teens or low 20s Celsius. Right, so let's start going with chart data then. Latest UK Met Europe run looking like this for midnight on Monday. Low pressure sinking in from the north. That be bringing unsettled conditions in to the north of Scotland, turning cooler and also more unsettled. That low pressure moves out in towards Denmark and Germany. By the time it's really Tuesday, pulls the wind into a northwesterly to northerly, so it becomes cold through the early part of next week with showers, maybe turning wintry in the northeast. Then we have high pressure out to west, low pressure to the east into the second half of next week, before the high pressure gradually eases its way in. So the trend through next week is to turn drier of that area of high pressure, but will be chilly. We are on the cool side of the ridge. I explained yesterday that any time the high pressure pressure is over and to the west of the country. The winds around the high pressure will be going in that direction, which is a cool wind direction from the north-northwest. To get appreciable levels of warmth, we've got to get the high pressure to our east and draw the wind up then from the south. So we're on the cool side of the bridge there up to the end of next week. The UK map. I can't again bring that low pressure in from the Atlantic on Monday, looking quite cool and unsettled. Low pressure then moves out towards Denmark. Through Tuesday, turns wind into a northwesterly to northerly. It becomes quite cold in the north and the east, with showers turning wintry. Then high pressure gradually easing its way in from the west as we get into the second half of next week, finishing up under an area of high pressure, but again, probably quite chilly under that high, and don't be ruling out chances of some quite damaging late season frost with that. We've got the KMA from South Korea looking like this. Again, low pressure coming in Sunday through to Monday will bring showering conditions with it and quite cool or cold weather as well, with winds in from the northwest to the north. Then high pressure gradually start to ease in. So by the end of next week, we find ourselves under an area of high pressure. Again, under that high, it is likely to be quite cold. The high then pushes away to the northwest again as we go beyond day 10, with low pressure sinking into Denmark and Germany. That pulls the wind back into the east of the northeast. That does look like quite a cold east-northeast wind that's setting up there by the end of the KMA. Gets us 24th of April. Looking quite chilly with that, to say the least. Winds in from the northeast. Maybe some wintry showers potentially in eastern areas. More likely to be of rain due to the fact that it's 24th of April. But again, the main thing could be where skies are clear and quite damaging late season frost. I have to say, these charts are shaping up to bring us a colder second half to April compared to the first half, which is relatively unusual that happened. As I say, I think it's yesterday's video I explained, April is usually a warming month, so that means that the second half is normally warmer than the first half. No, all quite unusual what's going on at the moment. Right, so the GFS brings low pressure in from off the Atlantic on Monday. That brings showering conditions with it as well. Low pressure is out to Denmark on Tuesday. Wind going to the northwest to the north. Cool, quite cold, showering through the middle part of next week. Then high pressure gradually eases its way back into the last stages of next week. Mostly dry under that high pressure. Could be some overnight frost. So then high pressure starts to reform just beyond day 10, 23rd of April. St George's Day around Iceland and Greenland brings the wind in to a colder northeast. You look at the upper air temperature looking quite cold. Bare -5 Celsius. The showers could well be wintry in the north and the northeast. With that, I say generally cool and showery then up to the end of the GFS midnight run, which gets us to the 28th of April, blocking monitoring maintained around Greenland and Iceland there. This is how the GFS 6Z is looking in comparison. Once more, that low pressure brings a cool and showering start to next week. Then high pressure gradually easing its way in from the west as we go through the last stages of next week. Will be turning drier, but will be quite cold under that area of high pressure. Then the high pulls back out to the west again, as head up toward day 10, and the northerly sort of returns, which might bring some cold air with it. -5 Celsius again, pushing southwards through the country. Then we find that the high pressure gradually starts easing back in, but always in a position, where we're on the cold side of it, or the cool side of it, never getting to our south or east, always to our west and northwest. Consequently, it stays quite cold or chilly up to the end of the GFS 6Z run as well. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Why not drop a comment if so, nothing about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. We only need to put on around, how many is it? I think it's about 7 subscribers to get ourselves to 18.1k. No, if you could give us a sub, that'd be amazing. Tell your friends and family to subscribe, and let's get our first 100 within 18k. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. GM, again, that low pressure sinking in from the northwest on Monday, bringing a cool and showery start to next week. Low pressure moves over towards Denmark. Tuesday turns wind into the north, quite cold then. High pressure out to the west, low pressure northeast through to the second half of next week. So the high pressure gradually starts easing its way in by around day 10, but still on the cold side of the ridge. So although it turns drier, temperatures still stay suppressed. Put your teeth in, Gav. And then the east looks like that. Finally, low pressure slinks in from the north on Monday, giving a cool and showery start to next week with winds in from the north or northeasterly direction through to the second half of next week. High pressure is out to our west, low pressure is away to the east, and not really much change actually as we head towards days 8, 9, 10. High pressure is continued to be maintained to our west, low pressure to our east, winds then coming in from the northwesterly or northerly direction. That was set up at day 10, so it's not going to be particularly unsettled, but might be a bit showery in the east. So the main talking point, I suspect, will be the relatively low temperatures, most notably so at night where skies are clear. This is a precipitation forecast based on the ECM run from meteo.com. So what rain there is mostly in the northwest over the next day or so. The south and east should be mostly dry. But by the time we get through to the beginning of next week, that low pressure comes in from the Atlantic, brings a spell of rain to all areas, followed by wintry showers to the north and the northwest, mostly rain showers. It has to be said, even with those northerly winds, we are very late on in the year now, but temperatures will be suppressed, and we just keep the wind in from the north, so a lot of dry weather through around days 7, 8, 9, 10. What precipitation there is mostly in the north and around western eastern coastal areas in form of showers, lots of dry weather, but temperatures on the lowly side. These are the ups on the table within the ECM Ensemble day 4, day 10, gets us 22nd of April, 25 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure just out to our west and northwest. Around that, we bring the wind in from a northerly direction, so mostly dry, but probably a bit on the chilly side. 15 with low pressure to our east and northeast, high pressure out in the Atlantic, winds again coming in from a chilly northerly direction, and 11 with doing the operational run with high pressure perhaps a bit further northwest, and so that brings in a little bit more of a northeasterly, if anything. All options have a wind in from the north with high pressure to our west and northwest, so all options are cool. It shouldn't be particularly unsettled, could be a little bit showery. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Gets us 27th of April, 23 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure to our north, lower pressure to the south, winds coming in from the east, and then we got 15 with high pressure over to the northwest, mostly dry, but again the wind probably in from the northeast direction, could be a bit cool, and 13 with low pressure over Denmark, high pressure in the Atlantic, winds will be coming in from a chilly northerly direction with that. So day 10 and day 14 generally keeping the wind with all of those options from a chilly wind direction. However, the CFS is seeing a change for May, so finally this is the latest 700 millibar height and lightning forecast from the CFS for May. Remember, these change daily, and this time we're seeing high pressure over to the east country with low pressure cut off low in the Atlantic. That would bring the wind up from like a southerly or a southeasterly direction. That's a warm wind direction. Have a look at the temperature anomaly. Yes, looking very warm with that in those red shady colours, which on the scale, where is the scale? Oh, there it is. On the scale, it's 2 to 3 degrees above average. I've only been using these charts for like, I don't know, 13 years or something. You can't expect me to know where the temperature scale is right in front of me. No, but anyway, yes, we see warmer than average temperature anomalies there by about a couple of degrees above average for May, and no signal for precipitation. But I suspect we will probably have, like, well, it could be quite volatile, actually, right? Cut off low in the Atlantic, and a southerly flow. It might be quite a volatile situation, so warm and maybe thundery. Perhaps a bit of convection there for May. But of course, in all perspective, both charts change daily. That's just what it's showing today. Could look different tomorrow. Right, we're done. If you enjoyed the video, please you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure everyone board doing that. Why not drop a comment at stone about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids and get them to subscribe too. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. We need to put on, as I say, around 7 subscribers to get ourselves to 18.1k. So if you could give us a sub, that'd be absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. Right, just tell us happening on the channel tomorrow. We're going to have a 6 a.m. UK weather forecast. We're going to have a weekend forecast, the EC 42 day and a 10 to 14 day as well. And then on Sunday, we've got the 6 a.m. forecast again, and we'll have our latest summer update. We'll be live at 6 p.m. on Sunday with the 10 to 14 day, and no doubt we'll be including some long range in that, as it is a Sunday live stream. So we've got to include some long range, haven't we? So that's the plan for the weekend. You enjoy the rest of your Friday. For this one, though, that's all for now, and thanks so much.